So hello my dear friends, welcome back. Welcome to your channel Cooking Astrology. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for subscribing my channel and liking my videos. Thanks a lot. So today in this video, let's try to understand the timings of marriage in Vedic astrology. I've already made video over the timings of marriage around 4.5 years ago. And after so long, I'm thinking of let me do some refresh video on how to actually determine the exact timings of marriage. I'm not talking about the timings of you getting into relationship with someone. I'm also not talking about any sort of casual boyfriend or girlfriend kind of relationships. No, I'm actually talking about the actual triggering point where the event of marriage will take place. And the event of marriage must need to be some sort of a ritualistic ceremony, like you are performing the marriage using certain rituals, okay? So every community having their own rituals. So I'm talking about that ritualistic ceremony also. Also, you can go with the court marriage also. That is also falls under the categorization of the marriage. Now, first of all, in order for this event of marriage to take place, there are three most important houses in Vedic astrology. Except the 7th house, okay? Except 7th house. The three most important houses that have the capacity to actually determine or decide when the exact timing of marriage is going to be. Now you need to pay attention towards the 2nd house. This is one of the most important houses. Then you need to pay attention towards the 9th house. This is the second most important house. And then you need to pay attention towards the 12th house. 2nd house, 9th house and 12th house. Without these three houses, it becomes very difficult for the event of marriage to actually take place. Now, how to study these houses in your chart? See, first of all, 2nd house is the house of your family. So, if you are marrying with someone, it means some addition is happening into your life. As of now, you are a singular person. So, if you want to see the addition, like some male or female is entering in my life, so we are going into 2. So, from 1 to 2, that conversion factor is seen through the 2nd house. So, addition of the family is going to be there. Then comes your 9th house. Now, 9th house is actually the house which represents the belief systems of the native. And 9th house is also the house of your bhagya, fortune. That is the luck factor actually. Or that is also the advantageous house in Vedic astrology. Like any positive fruits that you are going to reap out in your life is seen through the 9th house. Now, 9th house activation must need to be very important, because if you are getting married with someone, it means certain change in belief systems are going to be there. It may be even if you are marrying a woman or a male with the same community, slight difference in the belief systems, it will eventually going to take place. And 9th house is the higher house of your marriage actually. So that is very important house. And then last is the 12th house actually. Now, 12th house represents the expenses. So you can connect this thing as some expenses are happening in the marriage. You are spending some amount of money. So any expenses are seen through the 12th house. Also, 12th house in Vedic astrology is actually known as the house which represents the original ritual of the marriage that is taking place. And whosoever is the priest actually. Now, in Indian tradition, there are different. In Muslim, there are different. In Christian, there might going to be some different. Okay, so the priest actually who is helping you in the marriage part, that is also seen through the 12th house. 12th house is actually the fire kund. Okay, that is Agni kund. In our tradition, in the Agni kund, you need to take 7 rounds around the fire. So you are married actually. So 12th house represents that thing. Now, whenever in your horoscope, out of these three houses, benefics like Jupiter and Venus, specifically these two benefics. There is no any other benefic. Mercury is not a benefic. Moon is also not a benefic. They are mild malefic planets actually. Or they have the capacity to change their appearance based over aspects and that thing. But these two are the most benefic. And they both are the significant of the marriage also. That is Jupiter and Venus. Whenever in the transit time, Jupiter and Venus energy is aligning with the 2nd, 9th or 12th house. Suppose you are a Aries ascendant. So Jupiter transit in the sign of Taurus. Then Venus transit may be in the sign of 9th house, that is Sagittarius. So this is going to be the exact triggering point and you are seeing this thing from the just transit perspective, that have the capacity to actually trigger the event of marriage into your life. Second important method, I hope this method is clear for all of you. You need to pay attention towards these 3 houses and benefic planets in the transit or in the gochar they are transiting. Next important thing, you need to pay attention towards our dear planet Saturn. Now, Saturn is not actually a significator of a marriage, but this is the planet which is exalted in the 7th house of Libra. And Saturn represents the bandhan. Bandhan mean bondage. Bondage mean it doesn't matter whether you are suffering with that person in the marriage or you are enjoying the marriage, it doesn't matter. But 7th house represents the bandhan, bondage. And Saturn, that is why it's exalted in the Libra. It shows bandhan or bondage that you are going to form with someone. You can also consider is that a karmic knot between 2 people. So that is inseparable kind of a bond. Now, whenever planet Saturn specifically differ from ascendant to ascendant, it may be your Aries, Taurus, Libra. Whenever Saturn ascendant also in the transit is actually going to first of all make it transits through the 7th house, or maybe from the ascendant, even from the 5th house. Like Saturn need to form some connection with the 7th house. Like Saturn is aspecting the 7th house, maybe with its 3rd aspect, 7th aspect, or the 10th aspect. So Saturn in the gochar, in the transit, if it is aspecting the 7th house, and the previous combination which I told you, 2nd, 9th and 12th, they are also supporting, that is the exact confirmation, like bondage is going to be happening during that time frame. Now let me come to a next step, and this is very easy. You just need to pay attention towards the maturity ages of the planet. Now every planet in Vedic astrology have certain maturity ages that are predefined. Okay, I'm going to once again repeat all the maturity ages. You can please note them down. Jupiter mature at the age of 16, Sun mature at the age of 21, Moon mature at the age of 24, Venus mature at the age of 25, Mars 28, Mercury 32, Saturn 36, Rahu 42 and Ketu 48. So these are the maturity ages of the planet. Now if by chance, if out of these maturity ages, now basically the if you look into the global time where the individuals are getting married is actually between the age of 24, 25 up till the age of maybe 32. So this is that going to be considered as a perfect time frame. Now suppose you are going through that time frame 24 till 32, in between that, and the planets that specifically Mars, Venus and Mercury, because they are maturing at the age of 25. Even you can consider Moon also, Moon, Mars and planet Venus and Mercury. So the maturity age of these planets, and if these planets are forming any sort of connection with the 7th house, by becoming 7th house lord or posited is in conjunction with the 7th house lord, that is also going to be a triggering point where that event of marriage is going to take place. Now you need to confirm that point with your Vimshotri Mahadasha also, if that part is aligned in your chart or not. In this way, this will give you the more accurate and precise prediction with regards to that particular area. So the maturity age of planets are also going to play a very important role. Whenever the planet is getting matured, and suppose your 7th house lord maybe posited, suppose your 7th house lord is Jupiter, and that is in conjunction with like planet Mars. So Jupiter and Mars at the age of 28, this event is going to take place. Now for that we need to take the Dasha confirmation also, because that is also going to play a very important role. Next, let me come to the circumstances where the marriages are going to be happening in the much later stages, after the age of 32, 33, 35 and specifically 35th year onward, because many people are actually going into the late marriages. They are getting married around 36, 37, 38, 40, sometime 42. I have seen individuals getting married at the age of 50, 52, 62, 72, 75 as well. So I have seen marriages taken place into that areas as well. Many individuals come to me in the old age actually to please check for the predictability, like when the event of marriage is going to take place. Now basically they are actually discussing about Sometime it's a first marriage, sometime it's a second, sometime it's a third marriage also, or sometime after a lot of failures in the initial relationships, they are going towards that particular area. Now, in order to actually go into that areas, like after the age of 35, how to do the predictability, first of all, yoga of marriage must need to be present in your life. This is very important. Without the yoga of marriage, it becomes very, very difficult. Secondly, pay attention towards the karmic axis, that is Rahu and Ketu. Now, every person knows Rahu matured at the age of 42 and Ketu matured at the age of 48. And most of the time, I'm telling you, I'm not saying it's applicable to you or 100%, but most of the time, 90% I'm talking about. At the maturity age of Rahu, that is the 42, this is going to give you chance. Irrespective of where Rahu is posited, irrespective of where the planets are posited, but the age of 42 is going to give you chance. If you miss it, then 48 is also going to be the triggering point. That have the capacity, because Rahu and Ketu axis sometime karma is woven in such a way, it shows some pending karma, some pending sufferings that you need to suffer, and only after certain ages, after the maturity of Rahu and Ketu, you are going to have that desired or destined marriage in your life. So that is also happening because of the Rahu and Ketu axis maturity. Now, what if you cross the age of 48 and you go onward, 52, 55 and even the 60 actually? Now, that is where the divisional charts are also going to play a very important role. If you are getting in the much later stages, it means there is some severe deep down affliction present in the D9 chart. Without the deep down affliction in the D9 chart, it's not possible. By just looking into the D1 chart, we will say, okay, your marriage is getting delayed up till the age of 45 or even 50. So the deep down affliction actually going to be lies into the D9 chart, that is the Navamsha chart. Now, what are the combinations that you can actually look and detect into the Navamsha Kundali in order to check the marriages that are happening after the age of 42 and even 48? First combination is the debilitation of the planets, specifically if the benefics are getting debilitated. Malefic debilitation is not a big problem, but the benefic debilitation. Mercury is in the sign of Pisces. Prominent thing I'm teaching you. Venus in the sign of Virgo. Jupiter in the sign of Capricorn. Even Moon in the sign of Scorpio. And then further down, these afflictions are more afflicted with Rahu and Ketu axis. Further down, they are going into some sort of karmic zodiac signs of Scorpio and Aquarius. Suppose Jupiter is posited in Capricorn along with Ketu in your Navamsha Kundali. It shows that deep down, the problem is actually detected from the D9 chart. And in that particular cases, the marriage is going to be much. Or here in this case, I request you to give preference towards getting married after the age of 42 only actually. So that at least your Rahu is matured and this will not going to create much problems into your life. So in this way, you can actually determine. The last method is the Vimshotri Mahadasha and Antardasha. Specifically the Antardasha. Antardasha is the sub-period. That is also the number one predictor where most of the astrologers, they give predictions. No need for you to go into the Prantardasha level, but the Antardasha is going to be a 6 month to 2.5, 3 year span. So Antardasha is actually the real indicator that is also going to show you whenever your 7th house lord coming in the Antardasha. Whenever 7th house lord. It's if it is coming in the Antardasha, your 9th house lord coming in the Antardasha, 2nd house lord, 12th house lord. If they are coming in the Antardasha, that is the sub-period, that is also going to trigger the event of marriage into your life. So I hope you have gained some deep insights in this video with me. If you are having any queries, any consultations, you can feel free to contact me at my email ID. Any marriage, career, business, spiritual, business consultation, do let me know. I will try my best to get back to you as soon as possible. Till then, feel free to subscribe my channel below. If you have gained some deep insights in this video with me, please don't hesitate to send me super thanks also. Any simple contribution from your side is going to give me the more motivation to make more such videos over the YouTube. So till then, please take care of yourself and may God bless you a very prosperous and wonderful married life. You can also follow me on Instagram and I'm going to meet you very, very soon in the next video. Hare Krishna.